In a small, isolated town, people are still reeling from the sun suddenly just disappearing. That was 10 days ago. This phenomenon has left not just this town, but the world shrouded in darkness. Its people left on the verge of giving in. Our five friends, bound by fate, take one last stroll through their rapidly dying town. Having had the luxury of being out on the sea since this event occurred, you are all seeing the effects of the darkness for the first time. Who's piloting our little boat?
I vote not myself.
Billy can be piloting. Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's let Billy pilot.
Is it a speedboat? Is it a fishing boat?
It's a speedboat, like a yacht.
Ooh.
Is it yours?
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
go.
I know, right? All right.
Have you mentioned the dream you've been having to anyone else?
Oh, absolutely not. It's just a dream. It's fine.
Then, as you are finally reaching shore after a long trip out to sea, days spent just enjoying life away from the city, just peace and quiet and ocean, all turned upside down by the fact that you haven't seen the sun in days, or what you assume is days. It's hard to tell time. But as you approach what should be a illuminated landscape, buildings, houses, streetlights, cars, it's all pitch black. What would you like to do?
Billy does slow down, more so than like one would when you start approaching the dock. Knowing, of course, that the water is more shallow there, but also processing what he's seeing. I think he's going to look to Casey and just say, this is pretty weird, right? Some sort of blackout, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if weird even really begins to cover it. I mean, there's no sun in the sky.
I mean, the sun doesn't just disappear. It must be something, I don't know, like an eclipse or something like that. Something where it's still there, but we just can't see it.
I've never heard of an eclipse lasting days. I don't know. Maybe we should check it out?
So I overhear you guys talking. I don't know if you're talking quietly or not.
No.
I don't think they're trying to hide it.
Well, I mean, surely there's an explanation, right? Like, right? Like, and she, Emily, she kind of looks at you guys and she's like, so you guys, like, Benji, you went to school, like,
Didn't study. I studied literature. I'm not sure exactly this is my forte.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm gonna remain hopeful. Hopefully it's gonna be fine. And she kind of goes back to like
Yeah, of
picking
course
at
it's gonna be fine.
gonna be fine. She's like looking down, picking at like her hand. She's very anxious now that you have pointed this out. Like she's like, oh God, I didn't even think about that. What does it smell like, Poop? Is there any scent at all? Does it just smell like marine?
You tell me. What does it smell like
Oh
right now?
man. Uh, that's gross.
Haha.
Um, okay. I would say that it's not quite as offensive as like chum would be, but it is on the level of like it's I don't oh man, this is about to get real specific. So if you can relate, thank you. It smells like someone has just cleaned like a bunch of fish. Like
Mhm.
and
Mm.
but it has like that like slight tinge of like this doesn't smell right though. Like it doesn't smell just like a normal type of thing. It smells a little off and salty and briny. Like it
I'm
doesn't
gonna
feel right.
add on a little bit. In addition to that, to the brine, to the chum, to the that almost coppery scent of old blood. Michael, there's one other thing that you can just barely pick up in that scent. What is it?
Oh. Um, I'd say that there's like the scent of like something burning, kind of
Ooh.
like if there were electronics that have short circuited
Ooh. Okay.
nearby, and so it's like we can kind of smell just like the undertone of like just electronic devices that were in use but no longer.
I love that. And as we glide our boat in, you are purely judging off of instinct, off of the little light that you have from a lantern just projecting out in front of this boat. You know the shore is coming, but judging the timing, making sure that you aren't about to just slam into the docks. Billy, would you like to make our very first roll?
Yeah.
And
I
by,
would. I mean, I wouldn't, but I will.
by that, of course, I mean, I'm gonna go over to our VTT here and roll some dice. That is 2 6s. Let me just... Yeah. So you have succeeded, which I will pass the narrative over to you in just a moment because you have won narrative rights. But it does mean that every single one of these ones are temporarily removed up until
Oh no.
we darken a candle. As you are pulling into the shore, how are you stopping from just careening into the dock?
And so Billy is really inching the boat forward bit by bit by bit. He is being incredibly cautious. And, well, if anyone asked him, he would say it is because they need an option available to leave, to get help, to get things like that. It's actually because it's not his boat. And he does not want to anger, even in this moment, even with the horrors that are unfolding, he does not want to anger his mentor in business school, whose boat he has commandeered to show off to his friends.
The boat glides in. There's a small bump. As you all have to steady yourselves to keep from being knocked off your feet, but it's maybe a small little buff. You know, a rag and some cleaner would fix it up, no problem. But there are also no other boats around you. For a dock that can hold probably 4 dozen boats, there's not a single one here.
Brandon has been reclining on deck with his hat down over his eyes, and kind of moves just a little bit at the bump. Some of us trying to sleep here, and has not taken in any of what's going on as of yet. In part because the internet hates me, but.
Brandon, we're just about to shore.
Good. All right.
What's the plan? Like, I know that I have something that I'm looking for, but like, where are we going?
I mean, I figured we'd, stop in and check on our families, see how everyone's doing, make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah, I need to check on my mom.
Yeah, and maybe find a way to turn on the lights. Gesture to the sky.
Okay, yeah, that's a.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you? He's finally put his cap back on the way it's supposed to be, and it's weird, but
Yeah,
nothing to be
well,
afraid of.
no, of course not. Why would I be afraid?
Where is everybody?
Maybe
That's a
out
good
on the
point.
water. I mean, the boats. There's usually a lot more here. Maybe other places have power and they went there.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
Okay, well, maybe I'm being a little overly cautious, but I think we should stick together. So if we're gonna visit some places, maybe we go together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right? So where to first?
Before we get off this boat, is there like a buoy or like a lifesaver vest, like a life jacket?
Oh yeah, there's plenty.
Okay.
One
Well,
under every seat.
okay. I'm
Oh,
I'm
nice.
I'm taking one and wearing it like a vest.
Okay. Then, yeah. Normally, when you play this game, your character's inventory is literally what you have in your pockets. You are, if you'd like, free to make a note of the fact that you have a life vest.
I will do that.
One by one, we climb off the boat onto the dock. As it just very softly sways back and forth under your feet. Where are we headed first?
I gotta check on my mom. I mean, she can barely get up and down stairs on her own. I don't want to imagine her alone in this if the power's out or.
Yeah, of course, Casey.
Yeah, that's fine. I would. Yeah, I would ask to be second. Is that possible?
Yeah. Well, my house isn't too far from yours, so we'll hit up mine and then
Perfect. Okay, great.
head over to yours.
Absolutely. The urgent things first.
Fair enough. Then, Casey, I assume that you're in the lead.
Yeah, I'll take the lead. I have a lighter in my pocket, so I'll use that as needed.
Would you like to paint the scene? What exactly you're seeing as you step onto the streets towards your house or towards your mother's house?
Imagine it's sort of like everything was just abandoned. So you see lots of things sort of in mid motion. So maybe there's cars that have a couple car doors open, or there's doors left open. There's just like random items strewn about on the streets. Things. It's almost like people just disappeared.
I would add just a small detail of that. As you are entering the streets, the mist is getting thick around you, and you actually start to hear the sound of water. And very quickly realize that there was a fire hydrant out in front of your mother's house. It now has a car parked on top of it, and water is just cascading out.
Oh my god. I just run towards my house. I don't wait for anyone else.
Absolutely. Bounding up those few steps onto the porch to the front door, grabbing the handle, and nothing. You're pushing, pulling, but something, it's like a barricade has been nailed to this door to keep it from being opened.
I'm running behind Benji, and I see that he's struggling, and I'm like knocking on windows. I'm assuming.
Windows
might
have
be
been
some that
boarded up.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
What? It's okay. Hey, is there like another? Is there another entrance? Like a back door? Surely.
Yeah, yeah. There's a back door. Yeah, yeah. Let's try the back door.
Yeah. I head that way with Benji, and I'm like, what's your nana's name? Last name anything?
It's Evelyn.
I'm like Miss Evelyn, and I'm like knocking on the windows as we're like like jogging towards the back, and I'm trying to.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you, Casey, for a conflict roll here.
Okay.
Oh,
The
snap.
winner gets narrative rights of what you're about to find at that back door.
Okay. Here we go.
Good luck.
It has been a minute since I have played this game. I believe I get to roll all of these dice that are currently out.
Right.
Yeah, yes I do. So we will roll your dice here. That is not a single success.
Oh, no.
That is one success on my part. What card do you have top right now?
My vice.
Unfortunately, burning your vice would not help. We're gonna go to this top candle here.
Oh,
Out. one of these dice. Set them off to the side, as it is now mine.
Miss Evelyn.
Before we continue the story, we have to do my favorite part of this game, which is establish truths. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles currently lit. These things are true. The world is dark. Casey, what is your truth?
We will be able to get into the back door.
Absolutely. Brandon, what is your truth?
Uh,
And these don't have to be good truths.
Miss Evelyn is not home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when we get in the back, Miss Evelyn is not there.
Emily, what is your truth?
We don't find Miss Evelyn, yes, but we also do not like what we find.
Billy, what is your truth?
There is a lot of blood inside. Bloody handprints, bloody footprints. Whatever happened here was not good.
Michael, what is your truth?
There's strange noises coming from the basement.
My truth is that your trek here has not gone unnoticed. Casey, what is your truth?
There is a hunting rifle with ammunition upstairs.
Ooh, I love that. Brandon, what is your truth?
We're not far from the sporting goods store that might
Okay.
have archery sections and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Note the word might.
And Emily, what is your truth? No pressure. I think you're muted.
Okay, there we go. Is that better?
Mhm.
Yes.
We we though we were unnoticed, we are able to get out of the house fine.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Absolutely you can. That is a truth.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
You are physically going to step out of that house unharmed.
Physically.
Oh, okay.
Hate that. Hate that.
And the final truth, which we will say on the count of 3 all together. 1, 2, 3, and we are alive.
And we are alive.
Alive.
We are alive.
As you approach that back door, Casey, you see that it was boarded up. The boards that used to stand in that door frame have been ripped to shreds. There is a blood trail pouring out from the door frame. The kitchen inside, an absolute massacre, but no body to be found. You are hearing a very faint noise, though. even as you're staring into the kitchen, you're hearing what sounds like a music box. Definitely coming from the basement.
I burst in, calling for my mom.
Just like that, Casey is out of sight from the rest of you. Anyone following?
Absolutely running after him.
All right. One by one, we step into the kitchen. You see that scene in front of you. Well, that's actually a good question. We had one lighter, which was Casey, which, if you're running, probably not keeping a light in front of you.
No, I imagine it's, this is the house I grew up in, so it's that sort of like sense memory of where everything
Absolutely.
is.
For everyone else, that one light that you had, that you were following, is out.
Hey. And I like start Emily starts feeling around. I start feeling around to see if I can like touch someone's arm or anything. And I'm assuming everyone's within reach distance, but whoever I grab a hold of, I grab a hold of their like their sleeve. Like, and it's like a death grip.
Mm-hmm. Are you all still attempting to follow?
And I grabbed one of the boards that was boarding up the door.
I keep going. But I'm like, whether I'm dragging someone with me or not. Like, I'm like, that was our light. Like, we have to go.
Yeah, okay. Just watch it. This cardigan is a little fragile.
Sorry. It was just, I don't feel really great about being here right now. There's a lot of blood.
Yeah. Maybe Casey's mom is just into pranks. It could just be like prank.
Oh, well, okay.
As the rest of you are blindly making your
Well,
way
I'll tell you what I
inside.
tell the kids at school. Go ahead.
ahead.
I'll tell you what I tell the kids at school. We stick together. We'll get through it just fine, I'm sure. You were right. Something's obviously going on, but we can handle it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You all step in. You are also greeted by the sound of an old music box. It sounds very faint, but even stepping into the kitchen, it gets louder, clearer, and you can all very clearly tell that it is coming from the basement, wherever that might be. But Casey, you ran in. You know the layout of this place. Where are you going?
I'm going for the gun, and then I'm going for the basement.
Yeah. Kind of feeling, but mostly just muscle memory, making your way there, feeling along the wall, till you feel the outline of the rifle. Pick it off the mantle. How does that make you feel to have that in your hands?
It's actually bittersweet. I grew up with a mom and a dad who taught me how to hunt, but I didn't really care for it, so I kind of shunned it away for the academic life, and now it's back in my hands. But I feel safer.
I think this is in movies what you might see commonly referred to as a gun belonging to an individual named Chekhov. But you turn, you hear footsteps following you best they can into the house. Are you doing anything to address them, to help them, or are you just going?
I just say, I look at them and I say, I'm going into the basement. Follow or don't.
I'm not letting you go alone, Casey. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all for a creepy dance party.
Then, Casey, they are at your back. You feel along the wall to the door that you know leads to the basement, and it is wide open.
I call out for my mom.
That music box gets softer and softer until it is barely audible. Even standing in the door frame, it is barely audible. Then you hear the snap of a wooden box closing, and it's gone.
Mom? Mommy? And I'll start heading down the stairs.
Step after step, you are greeted by creaking wood, by the tapping of your feet echoing out and back at you. Step after step. It's pitch black.
I'm gonna pull the lighter back out.
Okay. I'm going to have us make a conflict roll for
Oh,
narrative
no.
control of what we're about to see. Thankfully, all of your dice are back. I have one dice to roll. That is one success on your part.
Jesus.
You have to roll more sixes than I do. I have one dice. Would you like to burn one of your cards to reroll those ones of yours?
Yes, actually, I think I want to burn my vice, which is obsessive. I think in this moment, there's only one thing I care about and only one thing I'm focused on.
Absolutely. We're going to reroll these two ones. For unfortunately no help. And my dice is nothing. You have narrative control of the scene.
Yes. I don't think I'm going to go easy on myself. I think what you see is very dramatic. Like the lighter doesn't light the first couple of times. And when I finally do get the lighter to light, I'm eye to eye with something that is not my mother.
Eye to eye with one of those things. You have a very limited scope of light. But what you can see, the tiny little bit eye to eye that you are seeing in that moment, what does it look like?
It's humanoid, but it's also amphibious. Like maybe part of that smell we were smelling is because it's from the sea.
Okay. I love that. almost fish, almost frog, almost reptilian-like face stares back at you with very human eyes. And for just a moment, no one moves, no one breathes. What would you like to do?
I yell, "Run!" and I fire.
I feel real bad about doing a back-to-back conflict roll, but I think that's too good of an opportunity.
Oh no, no, no.
Let's roll your dice first. Oh, so many sixes. So many
Yes!
sixes. I can't even possibly win. You have 3 sixes and 1 1. That 1 does belong to me now. But you fire off that weapon. Does it hit anything?
Yeah, I think it hits the creature, but it's too dark to see what, if any, damage it does. But I think it allows us to get back up the stairs.
Yeah. There is
And
a wet impact and a splatter of what you assume is blood against the floor. And you turn and everyone starts running back up. Who's at the top of the stairs?
I absolutely am.
You were
Like I I wanted to follow you down there and I was like 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 creeping trying and then I heard the gunshot go off and I like froze most definitely.
That's interesting wording. So you were at the back and froze, while everyone else has turned to sprint up the stairs towards you.
Yes.
Oh, well, then I have to ask you what happens as you are about to get bowled into by 4 people desperately trying to get past you.
Okay. I don't want this to happen, but it's gonna happen. So it's everyone is running up the stairs, and I, your fight or flight, freeze spawn. I'm freezing. Like it is a response that I have no control over at this point. And I absolutely get barreled over. I get what I would consider trampled without damage. Like, like
Yeah, I
if
mean,
that's possible,
there's
it would
a
hurt.
shoulder that hits you, just sends you to the ground. Another knee that just connects with you, just like your solar plexus. As people are just trying to scramble past you, there's a foot that comes down just like on the edge of your ankle, not enough to do harm, but enough to feel that sharp pain as your friends are trying to get up the stairs and out of the way. And when it feels like they have all gone past, there's one presence that you feel that kind of just looms and reaches up to grab onto both of your ankles. I'm gonna make a conflict roll.
Oh, is there? I don't know if the advantage exists in here, but I would say because I fell, I'm covered in some coagulated blood, which means I'm just probably like a little slick.
Or you're tastier.
That
Let's roll it. That is 1 6 and not a single one.
Oh my gosh.
That is 1 6 on my part. That means that I do win narrative rights, but you can willingly extinguish a candle and you can steal back those narrative rights.
isn't it true that we all get out of the house?
It is true that you all physically get to step foot out of this house.
No,
Damn technicality.
Emily.
Nope, I'm not doing it.
You are surrendering narrative rights. All right. That hand that reaches up to grab onto your ankles. In that state of shock, you are simply just fight or flight. And you have stood and just got bowled into, knocked to the ground. You are sitting in blood. Something grabbed onto your ankles, which in the moment, whatever it was that you saw for that brief second, whatever got shot, whatever they were running from, that is the thing that is in your mind that just grabbed you. It's not until after you have just kicked out with a heel sharply to the face of whatever this thing was that you realize that the hands that you had felt around your ankles were human. They were soft. They were not trying to grab you. They were trying to reach up for help. And you squarely kicked what or whoever that was, and they go plummeting back down into the darkness. Would you like to get to your feet and join the others?
Yeah. I don't say anything at all, actually, and I just get out.
All of you step foot out of the house, finding that the door that you had first tried to enter, that door that was boarded up, is now open. What would you all like to do as we step out into the fresh air, out into the dark, hearing nothing but the sound of each other's heavy breathing?
Emily promptly vomits. She is like covered in old blood. Like she is like, oh my gosh.
Are you okay, Emily?
Really? No. I'm sure. I'm sure Casey is not okay either. And
Yeah.
she grabs you and she like pulls you closer, and it is a whisper, and she's like, I think Miss I think Miss Evelyn is still in there, and she and whispers it, and is like, the hand, it didn't, something else is in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? No, what? I have to go back.
Um, okay. And she's like, uh, not me. And she's like, I'll stay right here.
Casey, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, we barely got out of there.
I can't. What do I do?
I mean, I don't know who it was. It could not be the person you're looking for. It doesn't have to be your mom.
Yeah, your mom wasn't answering when you called out for her. Like, we both know your mom, Casey. She would have responded. So I'm sure, I don't know, maybe whatever was down there, it was a
Yeah.
trick or something. I don't know. What did you even see?
It was kind of human, but kind of not kind of fish-like, kind of amphibian-like. I shot it. I don't know if it's dead. And I don't think it's the only one.
Okay, we definitely shouldn't go back in then. I know I remember your mom yelling at me before. She's pretty loud, so we would have heard her if she was
Right.
there.
Right. We gotta.
Whether we're going back in or going somewhere else. There's a sporting goods couple blocks from here. I was thinking about some kind of weapon, but they might also have lights of some kind. Um,
Yeah, that'd be great.
Flashlight,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
light up vest for jogging, whatever.
Emily,
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
going back in a space like that, stumbling around again.
Emily, are you okay with that before we head to your place?
Um, yeah.
As we are sitting there and talking, in the street, you would all hear let's say music box start to play.
Is it so? Most music boxes tend to have at least some kind of like the song that is usually something that's recognizable. Is this one recognizable?
Um, I mean, I would say recognizable in the sense of like you've heard a music box. It might not click with you exactly like, oh, I've heard this exact tune, but lots of music boxes sound pretty.
Which way to the sporting goods store?
And Brandon leads the way. It's a little bit further than he thought it was, but probably like 3 blocks instead of 2. Archery's back there. We've got a little camping section over there. And it's gonna start hunting around, see what we can find.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind checking out the camping section. I mean, it's getting pretty intense right now.
Mike was about to be past tense.
Hey, this is part of Mike's motivational messages. Number 1, lighten the mood.
Oh my god.
All right, then Brandon, I feel like you are leading us.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? All right.
Do you have any sort of light source?
If he's leading the way, I would give him the lighter.
Ooh.
Okay. There's got to be near the door like branded T-shirts and such. I'm gonna see if I can make a quick little makeshift torch.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't think that's worthy of a conflict roll, but it will probably cost you a little bit of time.
Not worried about time at this point as much as Brandon likes to be helpful and have something to work on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then taking a few minutes to, kind of like maybe break apart that board that you got just a little bit till it's, a holdable shape and size. Start wrapping it tightly in cloth, and then use the lighter to illuminate the area around you. And I'd like to ask you, now that you do have a better view of your surrounding, there is something that you had not seen before. What is it?
No.
It could be anything. It could be part of the backdrop. It could be something that was left behind. It does not have to be one of those things.
Ooh. Okay, so Brandon comes here all the time. He gets his supplies for his team of kids. So he knows this place like the back of his hand. And he knows that over by the running shoes, there are two ugly, but that's beside the point. There are two mannequins over there. As he's holding up the torch and lights flickering here and shadows over there, he notices out of the corner of his eye that there are three.
Do you say anything to the others?
Not yet, but I mean, for all I know they've redecorated a little bit, but it does seem odd. So he's keeping an eye on it.
Okay. You step through the front doors into the main shopping area of this establishment. Staring at the shadows being cast by your makeshift torch. I'm gonna have us make a conflict roll. The narrative rights of the scene. As you are stepping in, you are hearing crunching glass underfoot. You are almost certainly not alone in this building, but let's take a quick roll. There's one success for you, no ones to re-roll. That is one success for me. You can either surrender narrative rights to me, or you can darken a torch, and you can steal them back.
I will not going to rush through putting out the any more candles than we need to. So go ahead.
All right.
The sound of
Let's go.
crunching glass makes it very difficult to go anywhere here unnoticed. There was a skylight, a massive window above you that just let in natural light into this beautiful store. It has since been completely shattered, covering this place in glass. And as you're walking, you are hearing a set of footsteps behind you, another set of footsteps, another, and another. You expect four sets of footsteps behind you, and then there's a fifth.
Whirl around, holding up the torch like it's a shield that's actually going to do something to protect me, and try and shine some light in the direction I hear the steps coming from. Steve knows this is a bad idea. Brandon does not yet.
All of you just suddenly have a flaming torch just whipped around into your faces.
Whoa.
Who haven't I picked on? Billy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As Brandon turns around, staring at you all, there's an extra person. Not that any of you have noticed, But who is Brandon seeing two of right now?
I think Casey.
Ooh, I love that pick. For one very good reason. Because Casey was holding a rifle. Brandon, as you whip around, the others just suddenly staring at you in confusion, you just mentally start clocking the faces that you're seeing. There are two Caseys, both staring at you equally confused.
Both with rifles?
Both with rifles.
Oh, jeez.
Are the rest of you seeing this? Because I see Casey and I see Casey and
Do I see me?
Absolutely,
bit
you do.
weird for my taste.
I would like back up and draw my rifle on me. The
Both.
other me.
Both rifles immediately raised at each other.
I don't like this.
Whoa,
Hooper.
whoa, whoa, Casey,
Okay.
Casey, don't.
What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
chill.
That's not me.
Both of them pleading out the identical case.
What? The other one's talking.
In almost in unison.
Oh god. Okay. Oh, this is like Ollie's worst nightmare.
Please, you have to believe me. You have to believe me. I'm Casey.
Okay, well, if you're Casey, then I need you to say something only Casey would know.
In 7th grade, I peed my pants during the spring formal.
Oh. Does the other one say anything?
The other one, still staring at himself, would kind of give you a side eye and say that I know we need to find the most important person to you. And I can help with that.
You said that to me?
Mm-hmm.
I look at Casey and I say, that Casey, and I say, what is your mom's name?
You're picking on Andrew's poor memory right now.
Yeah. You
But
gave me a doppelganger. I'm like,
these things have been following you for a while and would absolutely have overheard your conversations.
Oh no.
well, okay, do you know what that is? Hooper?
Andrew does not, because Andrew
It
has
was
a terrible
Evelyn.
memory.
It was Evelyn.
Evelyn, thank you.
Casey. Until we figure this out, would you both hand us your guns?
I'll give my gun to Billy.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So
Gun
specific.
is handed over to you. And I'm gonna make a conflict roll. One of them
Snap.
still has a loaded firearm. That is 3 1s and 1 6.
Oh my gosh.
Was it Billy that called for the surrendering of no, it was Michael.
Michael, yes.
So, Michael,
No.
you of course can burn one of your traits if you'd like to
Yes.
reroll those ones.
Yes. Absolutely. So I'm gonna burn manipulative.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna be
Ooh.
like Casey. We know a secret now. I know more secrets about you from the 8th grade that you wouldn't want told. So, if you want me to trust you, you need to trust me.
Reroll these 3
I'll
ones.
try to re-roll those ones.
That is nothing.
Oh, brutal.
I need a single 6. And there it is.
No.
I offer you the same deal. You can steal back narrative control, but a candle is darkened.
Oh, I'm stealing it. I'm stealing it. Oh my gosh, let's go. I'm gonna darken a candle real quick, and we are going to take that narrative control. So I'd like to say that Casey, perhaps in the hopes of showing, endearing, getting closer, is gonna like again side-eyeing, but then move a little bit forward, and then there might be just kind of a feigned bit of like embarrassment before handing Michael the gun.
Are you doing anything with it?
I'm just gonna hold on to it, and just never having fired a gun before, just pretend like I know what I'm doing, but probably be holding it wrong.
The darkening of a candle. These things are true. The world is dark. And starting with Michael, what is your truth?
Okay. The second Casey knows where Evelyn actually is.
The not real Casey.
Right.
Assuming, of course, that one of these Caseys is not real.
True.
So at the very least, one of the Caseys in front of you knows where Evelyn is.
Yes.
My truth is that one of those firearms is about to go off. Casey, what's your truth?
Store is going to be picked clean and has no supplies for us.
The look of betrayal on Holly's face right now. Brandon, what is your truth? Oh no! The darkness immediately ripped Brandon. That's fine. We'll come back. Emily, what's your truth?
Okay. I don't know how. Okay. It is true that the gun that eventually goes off, because it's going to go off, that's true, doesn't hit me.
That you are safe from either firearm. Brandon, what's your truth?
Um. Hmm. Neither one of the Caseys is the mannequin.
Oh no.
There's
Oh.
something else.
That is so fucking good.
Billy, what's your truth?
In an aisle about 2 down from where we're standing, there is a pool of ever deepening darkness, and sitting in the midst of it is a video camera that has some information that would be very helpful were we to find it.
Ooh. Love it. Michael, back to you.
All right, my gun isn't loaded.
Incredible. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only one truth left, and as in unison as we can be in the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and we
And
are
we
alive.
are
We
alive.
We are alive.
Then, Billy, I think it's to you. The truth
Yep.
was that one firearm is about to go off, and the one Michael's holding is not loaded. What happens to make the gun in your hand go off, and what does it hit?
As we're standing there, debating which Casey is real and which one is not real, there is the sound of footsteps suddenly coming from one of the aisles, and Billy turns and instinctively fires,
Ooh.
and it hits. But it's another survivor.
Oh no!
A person hearing this, finally coming out of their hiding, starts running towards you all. A gunshot echoes out. Everything else goes silent. And there's a very weak, pained cry. "Ah." And then a body hitting the floor.
What did you do?
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh shit. I thought it was one of them. I'm not sure it wasn't. Should we check?
Yeah, I've got a gun. I'll go check.
Michael, as you start creeping your way over. Is anyone keeping an eye on the Caseys?
Yes? That person just said that they're gonna take me, or like they know where the person that means the most to me is, right? Isn't that what you said?
Mhm.
Yeah. I haven't left. Like, I went from freezing at a gunshot to now not even flinching, freezing in a different way. Like, pure focus.
That Casey that said that they could help you get to that person turns and bolts towards the entrance of the store.
So that wasn't our Casey. like she's trying to puzzle piece this together and she cannot. It is almost too much for her.
He
Like,
does give. He gives you direct eye contact.
Brandon has been waiting for this moment for 10 years. He chases after the other Casey and does a spot-on tackle.
Brandon has turned and started sprinting after this Casey. They're, at the moment, some of you are headed two separate directions. Real Casey, if that is indeed your name, Emily, and it was Michael that went over to investigate the survivors. So Billy, Casey, and Emily, you see one each of your group take off 2 different directions. What are the 3 of you doing?
I think I would follow with Brandon.
Yeah, I mean the person that looks just like you just turned to flee. Absolutely, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm like, get back here, you coward.
Emily and Billy.
I think Billy is following Michael because he needs to know who he just shot.
Absolutely.
I follow Casey.
Split 2 and 3. Brandon, I feel like this is the definition of a conflict roll here.
Yeah.
This figure sprinting away from you, you calling back to your glory days, back to that perfect, form perfect tackle, diving forward. Let's see what you got. That is not a single success, but there are 2 1s there. What card do you have on top?
I have on top my virtue, which is athletic.
Oh!
Literally perfect.
Yes!
The card is burnt. We re-roll both of these dice.
Come on, let's go.
We're
Please,
nothing.
please.
Oh,
I don't even have to roll.
no.
Handle is blown out. We have lost 3 candles. As you take off, following this individual, and dive, crossing that threshold out into the street, hitting this figure, the 2 of you going just tumbling. There is a crack underneath that impact. And again, as you hit, your entire body weight slamming them into the ground, rolling, and again, as you just come to this skidding halt out in the street. And the truth that you are now realizing as you have hit this individual to stop them is that that is very human blood that is pouring out. That is very human broken bones. Those are very human gasps of pain. And we have a round of truths to go through because all of these things we are about to say are true. The world is dark. Brandon, as you are sitting there, just on top of Casey, broken and bloody and gasping, what is your truth?
Okay. Okay. I look up at our Casey, and I start talking through all the technical details of making a tackle like that. I know in the back of my head that as long as I've known Casey, which is going on 15 years now, he has never allowed me to get more than a sentence out. But you wouldn't know that from following us today. So I'm trying to tell standing Brandon more than Brandon would ever allow me to, and see how he reacts.
So you
If you need that in compact truth form, I talk about old times.
I feel like that almost falls under like a shock response of like it's possible that you just almost nearly killed your friend of 15 years and your brain is trying to make it make sense. And you are just spouting details and uh, just your brain and your mouth are trying to make this scene make sense to you. Is that accurate, you feel?
Yeah.
Then your truth is that you were basically sitting there on top of Casey, just kind of battling. Emily?
Yep.
Okay, the truth is that hold on here. My truth is the gun the other Casey was holding is real and I pick it up.
I believe that that's the one that Michael had.
Oh, they gave both of them gave
They
them
did.
up.
That was Michael's
Oh,
truth.
I
that...
totally missed that. This whole time I thought, okay. Even better. Okay, you keep that.
My unloaded gun.
Ooh. Okay.
Which I just want to point out how much sense that makes, because Casey fired that rifle in the basement. That rifle was not loaded, but the rifle that Billy fired was definitely loaded.
My truth is this other Casey says, and I'll let you decide whatever you want. Says something else to me
To you.
that to me before they expire.
I feel like we just glossed over a fact there of your truth being that this Casey is about to die. And their final words are going to be to you. Okay. Billy?
You know, this is a one shot. Let's just go with some brutal truths. The person that Billy shot wears the face of Billy's brother, Sean.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, my heart. Michael, what is your
All
truth?
right. The person that Billy shot is still alive.
Ooh. Okay. My truth is that in the basement, Casey was infected. And then we have one more truth, Casey.
The final truth. At the edge of the parking lot of this sporting goods store, there are 6 more figures standing there.
And
I'm
of
just trying to
course,
get to
the last truth which we will all attempt to say in unison. The count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and we are.
And we are alive.
We are alive.
We are alive.
We're getting real good at it.
We're so
We're getting
good.
better.
Brandon, as you are sitting there, just kind of looming over top of Casey, who is still gasping for air, clearly maybe dying, but at least severely injured. Emily, you're out there, and Casey is out there, the other Casey. This figure looks up at you, Emily, specifically in the eye, eyes full of pain and tears streaming down the side of the face. You'll never find them now. And the head slumps off to the side.
Oh, well, it was okay.
Is Brandon still like babbling?
I don't think so, but I think he would know. Admittedly, he doesn't generally tackle people on concrete and pavement, but does it make sense for someone to be that badly injured by what just happened?
I mean, does anything that you have seen in the past, like, hour or two make any sense?
No, but none of the rest of it is arguably my fault. So he wants to know whether he just tackled and killed his friend, or if this is also in the weird category.
I think that is entirely up to
Whether
you.
he has an answer to that, I don't know.
I think I would go up to Brandon and just be like, Brandon, that wasn't me. Stop speaking sports ball. You know how much I hate it.
All right. I was so sure. He's gonna get up and he's
It's me.
quiet for a while, but functional.
I think we would immediately hand the camera around back towards Billy and Michael as the two of you have stepped closer to this figure that was shot. Lying there in a ever-growing pool of blood. Billy is your brother.
I think Billy just I mean, not that he's been following good gun safety anyways, but I think he literally throws the gun to the side, runs straight to Sean, and drops down to his knees in the pool of blood, trying to put pressure on the bullet wound, and is just absolutely panicking and just going, oh fuck, no, Sean, it's gonna be okay, Michael, what do we do?
I think we can apply pressure, maybe, and I'll take my cardigan off, and try to use it as trying to tie him up, but it's I imagine too much blood, but it'll be okay, Billy. It'll be okay. Sean, stay awake. Talk to us.
But I got to see you again.
No, don't talk like that. Don't you dare talk like that, Sean. Michael, we need to be, is there phone service? Can we call 911?
Yeah, I'll take a look around. I'll take a look around.
Michael, as you know, have sacrificed the cardigan and then stand and start looking, you are noticing that these mannequins that have been in the room with you all seem a little bit just disorganized from what you remember. Like some may have been pushed off to the side a little from what they were a moment ago, or one is now toppled over onto the ground.
And Michael's gonna walk back over, like trying to be nonchalant, like he didn't just see that,
Mhm.
and he's gonna say, "Billy, we're not alone. We have to go."
No, I'm not. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving Sean here.
Maybe we can take him. You can grab the arms. I'll grab the legs. Sean, just keep talking to us. We have to go. We can't stay here. There's more of them.
That growing pool of blood has mixed with that pool of darkness. A spreading infection. And at that moment, the two of you are standing there, seeing that pool grow. And for the first time in days, you are seeing light. There's a very faint glow coming from that center of that pool of what looks like a camcorder. And it's playing something. At that same moment, with that growing pool, your brother is slowly slipping down in the ground. And ask the two of you what you would like to do.
Michael's gonna try to lie, because he still has the gun, one of the guns, and he's gonna say, "Sean, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to work these. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm sorry I shot you. Billy, I'm so sorry."
Why can't I see anything? What's happening? As one of his arms just sinks down into that pool of darkness. That camcorder is about to be swallowed. You can leave this building with one of them.
Billy is going to try to drag Sean out of the darkness before it takes him over. But I think as he does that, he catches a glimpse of something on the camcorder. And he can't quite make sense of it because all of this is happening way too fast. But it almost looks like what's happening right now. It's Sean rising out of a pool of darkness. Except that he was much deeper that time.
Okay. Michael, we're seeing this same scene. While it may not make any sense, you know that if Billy continues to drag alone, they're both going to get swallowed.
Michael is gonna help with Sean, because Mike's motivational message is number 2, big things first. And so we have to go with the more important stuff, and that would be his brother.
And I think the two of you, before that camcorder gets swallowed and disappears from sight, would see all of you flashing across its screen, one after the other. And while you can't explain it, while you have no idea how you know this information, that camcorder had the exact image of how you all are going to die. And I think that's a great place for us to take a quick break. Give everyone
my
a chance
gosh.
to stretch your
Okay.
legs, grab a drink, take a deep breath, and we'll come
Mhm.
back in just a few minutes with the second half of 10 Candles. We'll see you soon. And welcome back. I love that scene transition. It is so good. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I did throw together this overlay specifically for 10 Candles, and I think I'm going to hang on to it for probably some future horror streams, because I really like the ambiance, the spookiness.
Oh yeah.
But where we left off, the Sportsman's Warehouse or whatever non-branded building you all had gone to look for weaponry or supplies is being swallowed by a growing pool of shadow that is just pulling things in. There was a video camera, one that was almost calling to you, and the two of you that saw it know without a shadow of a doubt, even if you don't know how you know this, that video camera would have shown you how you all die. Instead, you drag out an unconscious and bleeding body, Billy's brother. As you drag through the broken glass, finally cresting through the doorway out into the street, the two of you would be greeted by the sight of Casey, one of the Caseys, dead and being shaken by Emily.
Emily is absolutely pounding this person. Like the body is absolutely lifeless, but she's like, no, please, and it's not really quiet. Like at this point, it probably started off quieter, like, please no, but at this point we're reaching a full scream of like, what did you mean? Like, what, can you just please help me? Like, what did you mean by that? And paying no mind to anything else. Like at this moment, it's very like tunnel vision.
And one of the truths that we just heard was that there are 6 shadows or 6 figures standing there at the edge of the parking lot watching you. And Emily, we have a conflict roll to roll. That is 2 6s on your behalf and a single 1. Would you like to burn a card to try to reroll that 1?
Yes. Yep, I will burn my virtue, which is compassionate. And while I have had tunnel vision, I do kind of hear the commotion of Michael and Billy pulling someone. And it kind of like, I won't say snaps me out entirely, but I would say it would be almost like like that mom moment. Like it turns on like, oh, there are other things I have to deal with right now before I can continue this, and I see, I look up, and when I see Billy, I see like the pain, and I run over, and I'm trying to help at that point.
You have given up trying to get any information out of this person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll. Let's re-roll this. What was a 1. It is now nothing, which is good because it means you don't lose the die.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna roll my 3. I got nothing. You win narrative control. What's going on with these figures? What's going on with this body that was just drug out of this store? Scene's yours to paint.
Okay. When Emily, and I would say everyone else for that fact, actually notice and fully notices the 6 figures, I would say it's very much a moment where there's like a little bit of light, and we don't know really where this light is coming from, but it's very much a scene in which it's behind these figures, and all they see is they're just like these black outlines. We see nothing else. And I would say that if we weren't talking so loudly, we would hear probably an indistinct tones and sounds in which, as if it's like communication, but we are still talking a little too loud to probably hear it, unless Brandon, since he's probably not with us, he's still with the second Michael, or no, second Casey. He would probably hear it, but the rest of us, I'm trying to like help tourniquet, bleeding, like trying to get information, especially at this point for Emily. And she's talking to Billy's brother. And she's like, "Can you tell me anything that happened?"
This figure is unconscious, but you can still feel a pulse.
Are they breathing?
Very faintly. For Casey and Brandon, you see your friends pulling someone out of this building. You see these figures standing at the edge of the parking lot. What are the two of you doing? You can almost hear something, if not for the shouting that's going on behind you.
For a moment, I'm tempted to tell the kids in the back row to pipe down back there. It's just instinct as somebody who works in education. But I believe we said earlier that the sporting goods store belongs to a friend of mine. In which case, I know my way around. I'm going to go and find the office, and hopefully, maybe there's a first aid kit back there that hasn't been looted.
Unfortunately,
Maybe
we have determined that there is nothing of value left in that store. It has been picked clean, and it is also currently being swallowed by a pool of darkness.
All right.
Yeah, literally the worst.
That wasn't even me. You all did that.
I know.
I think.
And where do you think we learned that stuff?
I think seeing the 6 figures, but seeing them carrying out this body, Casey would run over to them and be like, We have to go. We have to go now. We need to have been gone already. And I'm going to point to those 6 figures.
At that pointing out, the sound that you had just barely been able to not hear because of the noise, because of the commotion that's going on, does get a little louder.
I think we stick to the plan, Emily. We still go to your place, but we need to get there now, and we need to get away from those things.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. And as she's saying this, the fog is starting to thicken. And she's like, okay, we have to go soon. Like, we're outnumbered. And she looks over at Michael and is like, we're outnumbered. Like, we have to go.
Yeah. Well, is there a car nearby that we could take? Maybe an abandoned one?
Yeah, there were a bunch of them.
You hear that noise
I don't know
get
if they
louder,
work, but
louder, and then part of it becomes clear. You hear a voice calling out, no, you gotta leave it. We need to go now. And then another voice, almost like a call and response, but as if they were both having a different conversation. No, I just don't understand. Why do we have... And then another voice, and another voice, and another voice. Of person after person. People, voices you're recognizing. People from this
I was
town.
saying, do we recognize them? Fuck. Okay.
Absolutely.
I say we run.
I don't know that we can run,
Run
Casey.
run to what? Run to your... I would assume that I would recognize that this is Billy's brother, right?
I would say so.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Billy, like, we can run. We can't run with him.
I'm not leaving Sean. I'm not gonna do that.
The 6 figures all suddenly go silent. That light behind them. And you hear 6 sets of footsteps now sprinting through the dark.
Okay, you can
Casey's-
stay. And she just goes. Like, she's like, I'm going to my house. Like,
Casey's going to look at the group and say, move him as quickly as you can. And he's going to turn to the 6. And he's going to go, hey! And run and try and get their attention and distract them away from the rest of the group.
Casey, I feel like this is a conflict roll between you and I.
you are
Oh
so
my
nice.
gosh.
I am the exact opposite. You're so kind.
Let's see what you get. That is no 6s, but there is a 1 if you have a card to burn.
I would like to burn my virtue, which is intelligent.
Ooh.
Oh
I
my
think Casey doesn't really understand what's going on, but I know that I feel different. I think I know that I'm infected with something and maybe a lost cause, which is why I'm willing to do this.
All Let's re-roll your 1.
Please, please, please.
It is a blank. It doesn't matter what I roll, you have no successes. The candle goes out. As you take off into the darkness, those footsteps become more irregular as bipedal figures punch over and become quadrupedal. Half of them break off, following Casey. The other half start sprinting towards Billy and Michael, still hunched over the body, still trying to drag it along. And we have 1, 2, 5, 6 truths. As always, these things are true. The world is dark. Casey, what is your truth?
Billy's brother passes away.
Ouch. Brandon, what is your truth?
Um. So the figures in the mist have gone from bipedal to quadrupedal
Mm-hmm.
on all fours. When we finally get a look at them, we recognize their faces, even in animal form.
Adding to the pain. Emily, what's your truth?
That's some Hunger Game shit. Okay. um. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. Um, everybody except for Casey turns to run, but in the worst fashion in timing. Um, Casey distracts them
Mhm.
successfully. Um, however, he also trips.
Your truth is that Casey's going to get caught. Billy.
Even though Sean takes his last breath, neither Billy nor Michael realizes for at least a minute, costing them precious time that they could have used to escape.
Pain. And Michael, what is your truth?
Okay. Emily in the lead finds a working vehicle.
Oh, I love
Someone's
it.
nice to us.
Oh, thank you.
And of course, the last truth. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we are alive.
And we are
And we are alive.
We are alive.
The sound of those encroaching figures gets louder and louder. 2 of you dragging behind a body, being slowed considerably. Michael and Billy, I leave it up to the 2 of you. One of you is about to get infected. Who is it?
I'm down. I'm game. I feel like okay, maybe I'm assuming, but Michael isn't very strong, so I imagine that like as far as the lifting goes, Michael is a little more like lower. And so probably some more of like the blood and stuff is trailing down onto his hands and his arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I asked that question knowing full well that those two players would both absolutely say yes to that.
Yeah.
But the two of you continue to pull.
But I'll give it to Michael.
You hear those footsteps, those claw steps, whatever they are. Some of them break off. Only a small handful of them are following you. For Casey, you shout and run and turn and sprint off into the darkness, purely relying on your memory of this street to get you through, since you can see nothing. And you hear that music box again. It's quiet at first, but the more you run, the louder it gets.
I'm gonna run until the music box gets as loud, like louder, and then try to dart off to find something, anything to hide behind.
You'd run and run. Occasionally, your feet tripping up on something that you can't see, hoping that it's not a body that you just tripped over, but you stay on your feet despite everything. And when that music is so loud that it feels like it's coming from inside your skull, it stops. And you can hear them around you. They're breathing heavily, panting almost dog-like. They're just sitting, waiting. And I'm going to cut back to the others. Emily, you took off. No idea if the others were safe or what exactly was happening. You were gone. You, almost enough to knock you off your feet, just come slamming into the metal side of a car. Enough that your breath is momentarily just knocked out of you, but feel along the door frame. It's unlocked. What would you like to do?
I open the door. I do not get in, but I look for keys.
You feel around the ignition, and your hand bumps into something that jingles. Metal
Is
set of
there-
keys.
I'm gonna, because it's so dark, I'm going to feel if there's anything in the driver's seat.
No, nothing in the driver's seat.
Okay. I get into the car and I turn it on to see if it will turn on.
It turns over for a few seconds. The rest of you see this brief light starting to illuminate and then die. Illuminate and then die. And then it finally does turn over. And the cabin is illuminated. That little light from the open door comes on, and you can all clearly see Emily as you are still sprinting from these things. And you see the thing in the back seat. It is kind of head tilted from side to side. One amphibian-like claw just kind of reaches up, grabs the passenger side seat. You can see drool just dripping from its mouth.
Nope. So I have a fork in my inventory. Um, I am wearing like a flannel like Sherpa jacket type of deal, and I pull that out of my pocket, and it is an instant. I try to stab it the moment that it puts its hand on there.
Let's make conflict roll.
Okay, I just want to take the card to my friends.
let's see how the dice feel about this plan. That is 3 6s and a 1. Would you like to burn a trait to try to reroll that 1? Or I guess what is your top card right now?
My vice.
Oh.
I think that this could be really fun. So I will do it. My vice is that I'm unhinged. So I would this fork then becomes my primary weapon. And
God.
and in a not just I'm not trying to attempt to stop the last straw that Emily had of give a fuck has broken, and it is she realizes now that this is like her and her friends or them, and it is like a salad. She just goes to like
Let's reroll it. It's a blank, which is good. It's not a 1.
Yeah.
I have 4 dice. If I can roll 3 6s, I will snatch victory
let me have
from
the
your
14.
hands. That is 1/6. Narrative control is yours.
Yes.
Perfect. I not only literally obliterate this person with a fork, this thing, this amphibious creature. Not only does the car start, um I legitimately look like out of a scene out of like GTA. Like this car throws into drive, and all of the doors are unlocked. Just so we're clear. And she throws it into gear and is like honking the horn, is like get in, screaming it. And when she does this, she then throws it forward, trying. She's like swings it around, and she's looking for Casey. She knows that Casey's supposed to be here. She cannot see him.
Yeah. You see the others.
Do I?
So do you stab this thing in the eye, in the face, in just the general?
Literally as many times as I can. This is a moment where like she takes it both hands, like hand on top of it, and just like is closing her eyes. Like it is a I don't care anymore.
It absolutely just slumps to the back, and it opens its weird lizard amphibian like mouth, and you expect a growl or a grunt or something, but in a perfectly calm voice, almost a reassuring voice, you hear a very feminine voice come out of its mouth. No, it's going to be all right, I promise you. We're going to be fine. And then slumps over. The rest of you get to the car, throw the doors open, see this thing lying in the back seat. You can absolutely just grab it, drag it, throw it out of the car, and hop in. Emily, you're driving. The others
Yeah, I am.
have jumped in. You don't see Casey.
I'm counting bodies. I don't see Casey. I look at Brandon, Billy, and Michael, and I'm like, where in the fuck is Casey?
I think actually you also see Sean. I think there's probably a moment where
Oh.
you think that we have everyone because Billy hasn't let Sean go.
Great
Mhm.
point.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay, well, Sean's with us. Is Sean okay?
Billy, you look down. Wait. Wait to see the chest rise. But it doesn't.
No, 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 no. We need to do CPR, right? We need to do
Okay,
something.
no, hey, I get it. We have to leave. We have to leave. Just shut the door. Like the body and everything of Sean is now in the car. And I'm like, where the fuck is Casey? And as
He
I'm
ran-
saying this, I'm throwing it into drive. Like,
You get about
Michael.
20 feet. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say Michael's just gonna lean over and like just try to point in the direction because it kind of felt like Casey was peeling off
Mhm. Yeah.
opposite way.
You'd get about 20 feet before the headlights would flash, and there is Casey standing there. I assume immediately slamming on the brakes.
Yes.
All of you are just tossed forward as the car comes to a sudden halt. And Casey, you were just blinded by the fact that there is now two miniature suns just aimed directly at your face. You hear the engine rev, and then you hear the brakes screeching.
I honk the horn. Sorry, guys. I just have to. I know it's a serious game. And I crack down the window a little bit, and I pop my head out. And I'm like, "Get in, loser! We're going to my house."
At the sound of the honking horn, I'm going to say that before you'd heard, 6 different voices talking over each other in sayings that don't make sense. From the darkness, you'd hear a couple hundred voices. It doesn't seem like every single thing you're hearing is coming after you, but almost in like a cadence of hearing that horn, they are calling out with whatever final moments these were, whatever moments they captured, whatever voices that they took. They are calling out to you with these human-like voices.
I'm opening my door and gesturing for Casey to run.
Casey, let's go. You have like 3 seconds, and she starts counting down. 3, 2.
I get in the car.
Yeah, you have to kind of squish in a little bit as there's 4 of you in the back seat.
It's fine. It's an Oldsmobile. Let's go.
Emily, where are you going?
To my house.
We are
To my house. I'm
taking
not even
off.
stopping. Like literally not stopping. Something pops out in front of me. Guess what? We're just hitting the gas pedal.
For all of the noise that you had just experienced, from these things chasing you, to the voices calling after you, to that pool of shadow, to the gunfire, right now, it is nothing but the hum of the engine. And in the back, 2 of you are sitting there with a very clearly dead Sean.
Michael is gonna try to talk with Billy. Billy, we did all we could. I don't think he's gonna make it. I'm sorry.
I think that's an understatement, Michael. He's not breathing. There's no pulse.
Yeah,
I know he's not gonna make it.
yeah. And Michael's gonna put his hand on Sean's chest and say, "There's no pulse here," and he's gonna reach out a hand and put it on Billy's chest and say, "But there is one here. And I need you to live, okay? I need you to survive. We tried, but you're important. You put the right things first, not like how I did. You're good. You need to live."
I don't think that's entirely true, Michael, but you know. And he looks meaningfully over at Casey and says, "At least this time I didn't run away."
I'm sorry about your brother.
Me too. Are you okay? I don't think I could handle losing both of you in the same night.
Yeah, I'm fine. Considering.
Yeah, we're all fine, right? All of us. We're gonna make it through this.
Yeah.
I'm fine. And she kind of like laughs a little bit, like she's not fucking fine. I'm
Michael will
fine.
join in on that. It's like, when everything is just gone to shit, you're just like, yeah, all right.
It's not too far of a drive. But you'd eventually pull up in front of your house. It's dark like everything else. I think you're muted.
Yes. So I throw it into park. And she kind of says it because again we've hit the unhinged part of all of Emily, and so she is like, "Ooh, next up my house," and she like turns it off. Like it's a little bit of like self-preservation / denial, right? Like this is a bit too much for her, and she is she's she takes the keys out of the ignition, she puts them in her pocket, and she's like, I have to go check on my people. And she says nothing else, just gets out of the car, doesn't wait. She inner monologue for Emily is that she recognizes what Billy has just dealt with. But it again is one of those moments where it's like a shock value. Like it's too much for her to like process just right now. It's a very much a, I won't say obsessive, but a very hey, we just gonna keep going. It's okay, you know.
Like, I have no control over what just happened, but in this moment,
Yeah.
I can control that I am walking into this house.
1,000%. That's exactly what this is. It's not an empathetic or anything like that. Like Emily absolutely fucking cares, but she's hurting. Like just in the same way, she's like, crap, like, okay, we're going inside. And she goes inside. Or tries to at the very least. I'm assuming it's dark, dark, dark. The lights are off.
Absolutely, it is.
She turned the lights off. Like we're not trying to draw more attention.
And I am gonna have a roll off with you.
Oh, snap.
We're gonna
Okay.
battle for narrative control of this scene.
Oh.
You have 6 dice to my 4. See what you got. That is 1 6 and 1 1. What's the top card of your deck right now?
I will find hope. Do you want
That's
to know
the
what
moment.
do you want to know what my hope is?
Absolutely.
I will find hope when I find medication for my kid Arlo.
So you are wagering that you are going to find what you need in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just so you know, that if you succeed at your moment, you will gain a hope die.
What's that
If
do?
you fail, then your moment is gone. Your chance of hope is gone.
Okay. Good. Great. Okay.
You are banking that I cannot roll a single 6 on these 4 dice.
Well, if I quick the quick question.
Mhm.
If I don't do that, if I don't I have to do it, don't I?
Do you feel like there is any other possible place that you could find that medication?
There's one other place I could think of in a small town, but no, no. The whole reason I'm here is to do this, and I know it's in my house. So,
We are going to burn your moment. If I get no 6s, your moment is successful and you've gained hope. If I get a single 6, your moment is gone and hope is extinguished forever. The dice tell a story. We all know this. That is 4 6s.
I fucking hate you.
That is 4 6s.
Oh my gosh.
What? You're joking.
Oof.
Okay,
Oof.
great. Hope. Good. It's okay.
The odds of that happening. Emily, your moment is here. You know that if you step in that house, one of 2 things is about to happen. You're about to find what you're looking for. You're about to find your child. You find their medication. Something to latch onto to give you the hope to go on. But when we get up to that door, it is busted down. Windows are busted out. There are claw marks leading into the house. Furniture has been trashed. Walls nearly ripped to shreds. But there is one very small light source. A small red light that flashes once, twice, again, again. An old-fashioned answering machine.
Okay. Emily has probably hit a level of despair that Emily has never experienced. Again, she's now on what I would consider autopilot.
Hmm.
So to her, I won't say it's she's hit Delulu, but she's well on her way of being delusioned, and so she's like, I'll just hit this button of this machine. I'm gonna find what I need. It's fine. And she hits the button.
There's a long beep. Hey, sis. I don't know where you're at. But things aren't great. I I really just wish you were here. I don't know why you took that stupid boat trip, but look, people are scared. I we can't stay here. We gotta go. I like if you're hearing this, that means that you made it home. That's great. But we're gonna try to go somewhere safe. And promised I'd keep him safe while you were gone. And I know this probably my last chance to earn back some trust with you, but I still got to keep me safe. So hey, yeah, hey, you want to say goodbye to your mom? You hear some some chatter going on in the back, and then you hear the sound of a door being shattered as something slams into it, and a scream, and then it goes dead.
Um Far more stoic than Emily was before. Um she just stands there hoping someone else will cut the silence.
As we are standing there, these things are all true. The world is dark. Emily, would you like to give us your first truth?
It is true. Uh that Emily lost every bit of her humanity here. Anything that kept her tethered is gone. Like, this is some, yeah.
Billy, what's your truth?
It is true that, well, Emily's child is not here. They are alive, but she will never see them again.
Michael, what is your truth?
Okay. Um, there are signs of a car having sped away from Emily's house.
Absolutely, there is. My truth is that those of you still in the car would feel Sean starting to move. And as always, the last truth. 1, 2, 3. And we are alive.
We are alive.
And we are alive.
We are alive.
As Emily is standing there, those of you still in the car feel Sean's body starting to move, muscles tensing and relaxing. And you hear Billy's voice. I know he's not going to be all right. The body
Billy,
at your feet, in your laps, wherever Sean is, starts to move in such a way that it starts picking itself up. Live from the Apocalypse, thank you so much for the raid. We love you so much. You came at a great moment. What would you all in the car like to do?
if I see this body starting to move, I think I would spring into action and start trying to drag it out of the car away from everyone.
I think you're getting into a tug of war in that case with Billy. I think Billy has one arm and you have the other, and Billy's just like, Casey, what are you doing?
Your brother is gone. Your brother is gone. This is not your brother. This is not Sean.
No, we can fix him. We can do something.
He's dead. Dead.
He's moving.
I will literally like bear hug this thing and use all of my body weight to pull it out of the car.
Michael, you were sitting in between these two. I need you to tell us who wins this tug of war match.
Casey's gonna win. Michael's gonna help him. Michael, in the moments we've shared, is going to look at Billy and say, he's gone. We felt him go. And Michael is then going to start pulling along with Casey to get Sean out of there.
Billy, the body is physically pulled through the car away from you. You can hang on for as long as you'd like, but the two of them are going to overpower you.
Can't believe that you two would do this to me. Michael, Casey, I trusted you.
I'm dragging the body away and literally leaving it on the street.
Michael is going to, like, I imagine that, like, once we've pulled Sean out, Michael is going to try to, like, essentially slam the door in Billy's face and start to run up to the house, realizing we have to go. We have to get out of here. We have to get Emily.
You'd climb those few steps to the front door, look in the room and see that red light flash and flash. First time you were only seeing the outline of Emily, who was standing there, numb, separated from reality. The second flash, you see a shadow in the corner of the room. The third flash, you see that shadow getting closer and closer.
I imagine at this point, Michael, after carrying Sean, after getting a little bit of the downpour, there's been like some impulses here and there. And I imagine that Michael might have like a feeling of like, maybe I also have to converge on Emily. And then it's just like one of those weird feelings like hearkening back to the car of like the tug of war,
Mhm.
and Michael's just feeling like, wait, that's not me. That's weird. That's Emily. That's my friend. And that brings me to motivational message number 3. Mike's motivational messages: live your truth. And Michael is going to run towards whatever that shadow is and try to do his best Brandon impression and try to tackle it.
I think you know that I have to make this a conflict roll. And in fact,
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Absolutely.
let's see if the dice are any kinder to you than they were to Emily.
All right.
That is not a single 6. What card do you have up top?
I have my moment. I have where I'll find hope. Would you like me to read that out?
Absolutely.
I will find hope in teaching someone their worth.
I am going to pose this to all of you. I feel that given the perfect circumstance, that a deal could be made to convert this into a dire conflict, which means that failure means death. But I'd let you reroll.
You know, I've had a good run. I feel like this is dire.
It's absolutely dire. Come on, dice. Don't betray us again. That is 1 6 and 1 1.
Okay.
I have
All right.
5 dice to get a single 6.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard this before.
The odds of me rolling yet another 6 are very, very low, but they are never 0.
Yeah.
Dice, tell your story. That is not a single 6.
Let's go. Okay.
You have
I'm so glad they love you.
your hope die. I'm gonna set it off to the side there for you.
All right.
And do you have 1 narrative rights?
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna run forward, running towards this shadow, and just calling out to Emily and saying, "We have to go. Sean's moving." And as I'm calling that out, I like collide. And I mean, Michael has never been super athletic. He's never been good at this sort of thing, but he had been to a lot of Brandon's games. And he remembers, it's like, okay, you got to get low. You got to hit him at a low center of gravity. And I collide. And it's like the initial collision is a little dazing because it's a very big figure. Like I would say probably like smashing into like maybe a brick wall. But because of Brandon, Michael is able to hit just the right point, and he feels this figure start to give and fall over, and a crack in the ground. And both of us, and I'd imagine like maybe initially like the feeling and just like hearing a little bit of noise. It's like, wait, this is Jonathan, who was our mascot, back in the day. What? But then like both of us tumble through the floor into the basement, and I'll call out, "Go, Emily, go!"
You are standing there in that numb daze, and then in a flash, all of this is happening like you're watching a movie. Emily, what's your response?
Emily, though not really paying attention to what's going on around her, can hear what I would say the desperation slash motivation in Michael's voice, and she kind of snaps out of it, but she's looking around, and on the little like chair, love seat, whatever, a piece of furniture, she sees a little stuffy, like a stuffed animal, and she grabs it and doesn't say anything at all, actually. And you Michael hears her leave and run to the car.
Back in said car, Casey and Brandon and Billy, the three of you are still just sitting there dealing with what has happened. You drug the body of Sean out of the car. It is moving and has full on got up onto its legs, onto its feet. It is just kind of standing there, much like those figures you saw at the edge of the parking lot.
Brandon has been completely shut down for a while, very much like certain technology. But he cannot register Sean moving. It just doesn't compute. But he does turn to Emily. What happened to Michael? He coming?
And she kind of just looks at you, and again, zero humanity left in Emily, and it is, we have to go. She doesn't even answer your question. We get in the car. We have to go to the boat. We have to leave.
What do you mean? Wait.
He's not registering the moving body. He's not registering your despair either. He's very much out of it, but grasping the idea of what you're trying to tell him, and is going to run inside the house and see if he can help Michael.
Okay.
You go to
Is
leave.
it a physical hole, or is it one of these void things that he fell into?
I don't know. Like she's like, please don't. And then she gets in the car and shuts the door and turns it
I'll
on.
be fine.
Like it is a level of not giving a fuck. Like she's like, mm-mm.
It is a physical hole. I do want Billy to ask you, as you are seeing Sean stand back up, you may or may not be hearing anything that's going around you. None of this may be computing in your brain. I entirely leave that up to you, but what would you like to do?
I think Billy makes a dive to get outside of the car.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, even if they locked and shut the door in your face, the door that you came in is still open. The door you were trying to pull Sean out is still open.
I will try to stop Billy.
Think for the two of you, I'm gonna make a conflict roll.
I think that's fair.
You're down to 4 dice remaining. That is no 6s and a 1. Would either of you have a vice or a virtue that you can burn? Or a moment that you can burn?
I have a virtue, and I'm maybe going to burn it in a way that isn't usual, because usually you're leaning into it. I think my virtue is happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in this moment, Billy's heart is breaking because he sees Sean, he wants to help Sean, and the person standing in his way is the person he trusts the most.
Oh,
And so I would like to burn that happiness because it is gone now.
The rules do specify that if you burn a vice or virtue, you just must simply bring it into the narrative. It does not say that it has to be good or bad, and you absolutely are bringing the idea of happiness into this narrative. We have,
I was so worried. That's so beautiful.
we have 1 dice to
Yeah.
reroll. Let's see what the dice have to say about it. That's nothing. At this point, I have no need to roll. But there is something that we have not yet mentioned in the rules, which is a heroic sacrifice. At any point, any of you can declare that you are making a sacrifice. You automatically get narrative control, and your story's over. It is your end. Would either of you, Casey or Billy, wish to make a sacrifice? You don't have to. If you don't, we will lose a candle, but your story will continue.
I think Casey would grab Billy and say, "Listen, that is not your brother. He is here to hurt you. And I will not let that happen. I forgive you." And I push Billy back against the door, and I'm gonna run and go tackle the corpse of his brother. And I'll do the heroic sacrifice.
oh my gosh.
Benji, why would you do this to me?
I love you so much. Like,
Well, Casey,
If Brandon hadn't just run inside the house, he would be so proud of Casey for doing a tackle. But he missed it.
yeah, you absolutely have the narrative control. As Billy is pushed back into the back seat of the car, you hear movement from inside the house where Brandon just ran back in. This scene is yours to paint.
Casey knew his time was short. He could feel he was infected. He knew that something was going to give. And if he can make sure that they get to the boat, then that's worth it. So I think he barrels into this thing and tackles it, and it's it's just one of those mind over matter things that no matter how much it tries to fight to get to the car, Casey just keeps finding that last little bit of strength to keep it away. Like wrestling it to the ground, pushing it away, like whatever it takes to make sure it doesn't get to them.
Of course, this noise has not only attracted whatever is now inhabiting Sean, but other voices are calling out now. You hear claws scraping against pavement. And I'm actually going to let you continue the narrative for Michael and Brandon.
So, Brandon's rushing into the house. He's kind of like trying to rescue somebody off of the end of a pier into water. He's going to lay down on the floor and look over, trying to keep as much of his body weight back so he doesn't break the hole further, and see what we're dealing with down there.
There's a creature underneath Michael. It's moving, but it has been skewered by floorboards. And Michael seems more or less unharmed, just more surprised, more, just kind of wind knocked out of you from just the force of the impact.
Hey.
Hey, you okay there? More or less.
No, I'm not.
All right. I don't think I've been in this house before, so I wouldn't know how to get to the basement in a normal way. So I'm going to see if I can climb through the hole.
I mean,
Go down and help.
from where you are, and I will leave this up to you, Michael. I mean, you landed not only on the rubble of the floor, but you landed on furniture in the basement. You landed on this creature. If you were to reach up, you could probably grab Brandon's hand.
Okay. Can I see anything down here?
It is pitch black.
Okay.
There's an answering machine, which means there's a phone cord. It's not going to be very strong, but double it up a couple times and gain a little bit of reach.
At this time in which we are playing, that shit is like paracord. It don't break. Like.
Oh, snap.
I'm gonna
Okay.
send this to all of you, the players, the song that the stream is currently hearing. The
Okay.
music that the stream is currently hearing. As Michael, you are hoisted up. You and Brandon safely on the top floor as that thing in the basement starts moving again, pushing rubble out of the way. Billy, you have been tossed
Thanks.
back into the car. Emily, you've started the car back up. Freedom is a small press of the gas pedal away. What would you like to do?
We come out. Do I see Casey?
You step out of the house, see that moment where Billy is pushed back into the car, see Casey tackle this thing, and other creature comes sprinting out of the dark, slam into him. Another one comes slamming into the pile, and another one.
Okay. I'm gonna start walking with Brandon to the car. And it's like that, again, that little tug of war in the head where it's like when we get there, there's just a part of me that's like, if you get in there, you could get all of them.
Mhm.
And then, like, Michael just staggers a moment. And if you don't mind, I'm going to trigger a sacrifice too. I'm going to shove Brandon into the car and just say, Emily, go. Your son's waiting. And then I'm going to try to run to be with Casey in our last moments.
Emily, you hear this? The door is shut. The choice is yours.
When I look at Brandon, and correct me if I'm wrong, Billy is also
Billy
there.
has been
Okay.
tossed into the back seat. Brandon tossed into the passenger seat.
When I look at them, do I think that they are themselves?
I would have to leave that up to you.
Okay. Um. I put the car in reverse or drive, whichever one gets me to the boat faster. Okay. So whichever direction that is, I ain't trying to do a 3-point turn. And when she like goes to look back at um at, at Brandon and Billy, she sees them. For her, it's a hard concept to get that that's who they are, but she drives anyways. Um, but as she's doing it, it's like full fledged. Like there are tears coming down her face. She can't stop it. And she's like, and she just keeps saying the same phrase over and over of like, we have to go to the boat. We have to go to the boat. We have to go to the boat. And it's almost like she's on autopilot.
To fully paint what just took a matter of moments to happen. Sean rose back up, infected by whatever is happening. High Shelf Collective, thank you so much for the raid. We love you so very much. You came at a very sad moment. Billy's brother, Sean, died in the backseat of the car. You all knew this, and yet he started to rise back up, becoming one of these things. You all had no choice but to toss him out, with Casey embracing Billy and shoving him back into the car to let these things pile on you, drawing them away from the vehicle itself. Seeing more of them coming, Michael, very similar sacrifice, shoving Brandon into the car just to get absolutely taken out by one of these things that just tried to slam into the car, instead catching you, causing the two of you just to go spiraling off into the dark. And Emily hits the gas and goes. At this moment, these things are true. The world is dark. Emily, what is your truth?
make it back
You
to
make
the
it to the
boat.
boat. Absolutely, you do. Billy, what is your truth?
The boat is very low on fuel.
Yes, it is. And as always, the last truth. 1, 2, 3, and we are alive.
And we are alive.
As we speed off towards the boat, towards that one chance of survival, you are seeing a sea of movement out in the dark. There are things out there that are actively hunting you. We drive and drive, taking corners that are nearly threatening to cause your car to roll, but we skid and eventually come to a screeching halt as the dock is sitting there in front of you. Billy, you know how low on fuel and supplies you were when you landed. What are you doing?
Billy knows that, but he's not thinking about that right now. Billy is full on dissociated from the double blow of losing his brother and Casey back to back in that way. And he is just thinking about the fact that in his final moments, Casey offered him forgiveness that he doesn't think he deserves. And so he's just on autopilot. He is just doing everything that needs to happen to get the boat moving because that is the only thing he can focus on. He can't care that they are almost out of fuel and supplies. He can only care that they came here to leave.
I would love to roll a conflict as you are numbly just going through the motions of getting this boat ready. These things are not far behind you. It is every movement matters, every moment counts, every single tiny mistake is severing the chance that you have to win. So for rights or narrative rights, I'm gonna roll some dice for you.
That is fair.
You have 3 to my 7.
Okay.
That is a 6 and a 1. What card do you currently have up?
I have my vice.
Would you like to burn it?
I would, and I think the way it manifests is that my vice is greedy. And I think Billy has this moment where he starts cutting corners. He starts looking at expediency rather than safety and does not care what that might mean in terms of things sacrificed, whether it's a line falling off of the boat, anything like that. There's no care there.
Let's re-roll it. Into a nothing. I have 7 dice. That is a single 6. It is a success, but I have wrestled narrative control from you. You can voluntarily darken a candle to steal the narrative control back.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay. You are half-heartedly untying the rope. You are, setting the sail. You are just getting this boat as bare minimum ready as you can. And these things would actually slow and sit and watch. Because there's not one but two figures that would step out from the pack, these creatures. Casey and Michael. Both standing there staring at you. At all of you. What would you all like to do? Did you say cry? Well, Brandon and Emily, as your impromptu captain is getting this boat ready for departure, you see your two friends standing there on the shore, watching you. What would the two of you like to do?
Emily is just washing those on the shore, like as she's standing next to the deck, trying to she can't help. She knows that she cannot. She knows nothing about boats, knows nothing about yachts, knows nothing about any of that. Um, she's watching Brandon and watching the folks on the shore, specifically the Michael and the Casey.
Just kind of also feeling that numbness, that powerlessness of there's nothing I can do right now. Brandon?
Brandon is watching the two figures. As long as they're giving us time, he doesn't have to act. But if that changes, he's ready to do something. But he's not a sailor. He doesn't know anything about how to get the boat ready to go.
Yeah. And even as you're thinking that, the boat starts to move. Starts to pull back away from the dock. Avondale, thank you so much for the raid. It is the evening of raids. Thank you, friends. Give you a quick shout out. We are playing some 10 candles, and we are down to 3 candles remaining. As the boat under your feet starts to move, carrying you away from the shore, these creatures start to let out a noise that doesn't really sound like a voice, so much as stolen laughter from hundreds of people, all melding together in a horrid cacophony. And they all stare at the water and dive in. One of the first things that we established was that they were amphibious. Your boat gets maybe half a mile from shore when there is a thud. And another thud. And another half dozen impacts against the bottom of this ship. And there are figures starting to pull themselves up the sides of the boat. I am first going to defer this over to... No, I'm actually going to ask you. Who of the three of you would be the first or possibly only one to dive into action at this? Or would any of you dive into action?
Brandon's been waiting to dive into action when necessary. He looks at the two of them, gives them each a squeeze on the shoulder, and he's going to run at the first, let's say the first two that are climbing up over the rail, and try and use his mass to push them back into the water.
What
By a
card
few
do you
moments.
have up right now?
I have my vice, which is oblivious.
You are down to 3 dice. Let's see how the dice feel about it. That is a single
Huh?
6 and no 1s. Let's see if I can steal the narrative control from you. Those two are definitely cocked, but I think they were both going to be 1s. Narrative control is yours.
Yes.
Yeah. So he rushes at the first two, thinking about sacking a quarterback, and basically clothesline across the neck, tackle the first two back into the water, and he'll be fighting for as long as he can.
They go over the splash
By these
they
two
hit,
a little bit of time.
and you're met with more of that demonized laughter. Laughter from people that you know, that you grew up with, but it has been stolen from them. These things have taken everything. And they continue to climb up the boat. Even those that you knocked off are only out of the fight for moments. And as they are continuing to swarm up to you, you can glance back and see that the other two aren't faring much better. Emily and Billy. Would either of you have much fight left in you?
I think Billy did. As they got out on the water, and especially as the sounds of thudding against the hull started, he was like, Emily, you need to get down below. I can't, but you need barricade the door, do whatever you need to.
Emily, um, she's gonna look at Billy and she's gonna say, um, I actually don't think it matters at this point. And she's gonna see Billy and she's gonna say, like, turn the boat around, is what she's gonna say. Turn it around. and throws the throttle down all the way.
And Billy looks like there's a moment where he wants to argue, and then those words hit home. And he does exactly as instructed.
The two of you would have moments to whip the wheel around, full throttle forward, before you are swarmed by these. I would ask if either of you feel like a conflict roll is necessary.
No.
Yeah.
Then the power is yours. For Billy and Emily, you have won the narrative rights, as both your lives are about to come to an end. What does this scene look like?
If you're okay with this, Billy. If not, please let me know. I, Emily, um, we flip the script. We turn the boat around. Billy does, and we're heading back full speed. Like we have a moment where Billy and I kind of exchange like looks, and I just kind of walk over and I push that throttle all the way down. Like I know there's no way we're getting out of this alive. Um, and that that happens again. Change the narrative if you would like. But we're taking things. We're taking seat cushions. We're hitting whatever and anything that is coming up on this yacht as fast as they're coming. We're trying to hit them, but um, I would say 3 or 4 grab a hold of Billy.
I would actually, just to add in a piece, I think one of them is Casey, and I think another is Sean. And
Oh.
even though Billy knows that neither one of them are themselves anymore, because in fact, that was his moment of hope that he would be able to save his brother from the darkness, and he's realized that he can't. I think there's enough of a moment where he looks at Sean and just says, I'm sorry. And then looks at Casey and says, I never stopped loving you.
Oh.
And I think those are the final words that Billy ever says.
And Emily has taken the shotgun. Sorry, friend. And she looks at you and goes, I'm so sorry. And she shoots before you're. She's trying to prevent the pain that eventually comes with that. And I would say within that moment, Emily sees that the dock is ahead, and she is being grabbed at this point, but she doesn't resist.
That final gunshot rings out before the two of you are swallowed. Brandon, maybe not fully understanding what's happening. Before you realize that the boat is accelerating, these things are thrown off balance as much as you are. And in moments, you have collided back with the shoreline. You are the only one remaining. You have 1 dice. I would like to make a conflict roll with you. Let's see if the dice can be any kinder to you than they have been to most of your friends all evening. That's a 6. I have 9 dice. And we need for me to not roll a single 6.
That's
That is 1 6 on my part. Even though I have won narrative rights, I'm willing to cede them back to you if you are willing to make this your sacrifice. I don't know if we're having tech issues, but can you hear us, Brandon?
Steven.
I think that might be a no. Oh no.
Yep. No.
Then unfortunately I do have to take the narrative control here. As the boat hits the shore, you are sent flying, hitting the relatively soft earth again and again as you bounce and roll, finally coming to a stop. These things surrounding you. Casey, stepping up to you. Michael, stepping up to you. Emily, stepping up to you. They sit and stare and wait. They give you enough time to give your final words, whatever they may be, before descending like a pack of ravenous wolves. And with that, the final candle goes out. These things are true. The world is dark. I have a few messages to play for you all at home. Some final words from our valiant heroes. In fact, I'm going to post these in our Discord chats so that everyone else can hear each other's messages. We are going to start with the first of you that sacrificed yourselves. Casey. Discord is taking a moment. We're having tech issues. Who would have thought? There we go. My players, I believe it is the one called recording_2. gonna hit play.
So, I guess this is it. Failed academic, a bad son, coward, really. Try as I might to get away, this goddamn town pulls me back. Funny though, looking around this place, it's not so bad. I almost forget why I wanted to leave. If only I could have figured my shit out sooner. If only. Too late now. Too fucking late.
Second of our number to go. Michael.
Hi, motivators. I have a confession. I've been a hypocrite. I have not been following my rules. Michael's motivational messages number 3. Live your truth. Say what you'll do what you say, so people can rely on your word. I'm sorry. This is the case where I need you to do what I say, and not what I did. I'm not living my truth. And honestly, if you're hearing this, I'm not living at all. Motivational messages number 2. Big things first. Do the big things first, and then the little things will be like a little treat that you earn for having finished the big ones. You don't know what the really important things are until it's too late. And now, it's too late. Don't be like me. I focused on the little things. Fame, fortune. Do the things that are important. Say the things that need to be said. Jenny, will you marry me? Motivational messages number 1. Lighten the mood. Even when humor might be inappropriate, your effort to lighten the mood could lighten someone's burden. At least, if you say no, I won't be around to hear it. I know. It probably won't do anything to lighten your burden. I'm selfishly trying to lighten mine, because I live with the weight of knowing that if you say yes, I will never be able to hear it. So don't be like me. An idiot trying to lighten the mood in his last moments, trying to catch up on the big things he left to the last minute that no longer exists for him. Unable to live his truth. Jenny, I love you so much. Goodbye.
Ooh. I'm fine. I'm
It's
doing fine.
okay. We're okay. It's like
Ah. And the third of our party, I believe, goes to Billy.
It feels so final recording this. Like I'm accepting that I might not come back. But I don't accept that. That's not an option. I just have to believe I'll be able to say these words to these people later on. But if not, no, we're not going to think that way. We're just going to put this down on record as a just in case. Starting with you, Sean. Sean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I haven't come home in so long, and I'm sorry that I wasn't there to stop what happened from happening to you. But I'm going to fix this. I have to fix this. I have to prove that you're not a lost cause, and I have to do that because you're my brother. And Casey, I can never tell you how sorry I am for what happened that day at the rock quarry. You always deserve better than me, and I proved it that day. I guess we'll see if I chose differently this time. If I chose myself and my safety again over someone else's, and if I just affirmed everything you believed about me, or if I made a different and better choice. And Sam, I'm so fucking sorry. I know you can't hear these words, but maybe what's happening right now is because of what happened that day at the quarry, because it should have been me. I've been living on borrowed time ever since, and I can't give you back those years I took from you. But maybe it's enough that I'm getting what I deserve now. Maybe I'll see you soon. maybe I'll have the chance to make amends. This is Billy, signing off.
Oh boy. Number 4, I believe, is over to Emily.
So I guess it's my turn. There's nothing really to say other than no love lost. Everything else is bullshit. None of this matters. This is specifically for Arlo. Just know being your mother was my greatest joy. And I'm sorry I won't be there to see you grow up. It's hard knowing that this is it. It's hard knowing that it's over. I love you, and you were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I don't regret being your mother, not for a second. Because there's nothing except you. There's nothing left. Just know that in the end, none of this matters. None of it.
Ooh. We have one left. Final surviving member. Brandon.
All right, team, listen up. I know there's a lot of fretting going on out there. The way some folks are talking, you'd think it was the end of the world. But I don't believe in they and them, and I stopped being afraid of the dark when I was 6. So you just stand tall, stick together, and we'll get through this thing just fine, just like we always do. Just like I did when I was your age, and Jimmy threw me the ball in the state championship game. We were down by 6 points.
Oh my god. That was the perfect cap to that scene. As the world remains shrouded in darkness, all of our heroes led their eventual fates. That is fortunately and unfortunately where we have to call this game to a close. Thank you to my amazing cast for this beautiful performance tonight. This was so much fun. 10 Candles is such a great game. It is a beautiful storytelling opportunity, especially with a cast like this that is just it was a perfect game. Tech gremlins and all, this was amazing. I also, of course, want to thank everyone that came to watch us and support us. We love you wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart and everyone at the Lost Caravan. So thank you. High Shelf Collective, Evandale, Live from the Apocalypse. Thank you all so much for the raids and for sharing your community with us and letting us all be part of this beautiful game. Yeah, I think we all need a nap. But first, I am going to go around and let everyone tell you who they are and where you can find them on the internet and all the other cool things that they do. We'll go bottom left and we'll go clockwise down to bottom right. So that means that we are starting with JD.
Which I was semi-prepared for. Hi, I am JD. You can find me on the internet at JD Not Jason Dean, and tonight I was playing Billy. We never fully revealed his secret and who that mysterious Sam was that he mentioned in his final message, but that's okay. Casey knew all about that, and that's the important thing.
100%.
You can find me with Live from the Apocalypse. Most often, I'm one of the storytellers and regular cast members there. You can, of course, find me here. And yeah, I can't even think of anything to promote except for the fact that the podcast that I'm a part of, Academy H, is a finalist for the Audioverse Awards. So if you have not checked those out, I am in the running for recurring voices, and we are in the running overall for the entire cast for recurring voices, guest voices, production, and director. So check that out. Vote for some amazing podcasts that we are in the company of, and I think that'll do it. Where you can always find where I'll be next is on the socials, so check those out.
I did want to point out that the brink that was given to these monsters by JD was that they can infect people.
I did that. It's true.
What
I
was
was responsible for that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
what was Billy's brink?
Billy's brink was that he left, he sacrificed a weaker person for himself, namely the Sam that he referenced, who died in an accident at the rock quarry when they were both 18.
Absolutely. And up to Matt, who decided to just drop that little bombshell of a final message.
Where?
Oh my gosh. Y'all have been amazing. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Matt. You can find me everywhere as Improv and RPG. It's been such a blast playing with all of you. Y'all viewers have been so incredible. I was Michael, and I want to say my brink too, which was I was seen abandoning an injured friend. And I'd like to think that Michael, in the course of him trying to finally live up to all the words he's been preaching, he didn't abandon his injured friends this time.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm here. I think that brings us up to Benji.
Hi, I'm Benji. You can find me online at Chance47 on all the socials, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Chance47. That's where you can find me. Sometime in the near future, I'll be part of a cult actual play for Lost Caravan, so that's going to be very exciting and twisty and turny. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I guess if we're sharing our brinks, my brink was I have seen you pass off someone else's work as your own, which is why he is a failed academic. He stole someone's work to pass off as his own. Wasn't quite sure how I was supposed to work that in there, so it didn't quite make it in.
Next time we play 10 Candles. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, but that brings us over to Steve, who I hope you can hear us.
I am Steve, Tall Halfling on the socials when my internet decides to cooperate, which it usually does, at least better than tonight. I play mostly in one-shots and charity games on a bunch of different channels, do some podcast editing and video production for some others. I'll actually be right back here on Lost Caravan twice in the coming month playing Cypher. And the most important thing is this is Mandy, who is very, very much needed after this game.
Aw.
Yeah.
What was your break?
My brink was well, as I recall, because I have my hands full and so I can't look down into the stack. As I recall, my brink was about doing more, but I do more harm than good. My moment of hope, however, was that I would find hope when I had a chance to relive my My teenage glory.
Yeah.
I did, but my card wasn't on top.
So you absolutely earned that hope at the end there. Absolutely, you did. And it didn't really come up, but there was an optional rule that I've played with when we played this game in the past, where if you did do a heroic sacrifice, the person that you sacrificed yourself for, you could transfer your hope die over. But Emily never needed to make a check after Michael sacrificed. And with as a newer parent with a kid that's only less than 2 years old, the message from Holly was an absolute dagger to the heart. I hope you know that. But Holly, want to tell us where we can find you?
Yes, you can find me on all socials at OMG Holly D, all one word, all lowercase. And I know coming in January, I am playing Deathmatch, so that's gonna be great. I get to kill my friends again, so. So I'm looking forward to that. But yes, tonight I played Emily, and my brink is I have seen you kill without remorse. Thank you, Andrew Hoover.
Mm-hmm. For anyone that doesn't know, these brinks, they were not written for themselves. They were written and then passed. That was the one that I wrote because the monsters have seen Emily kill without remorse. Ah, this game is so fun. It is so good.
Yes.
Um,
And so I did a sweet mercy killing at the end, Billy.
mhm.
Yeah, that was it.
I knew that was too practiced. You've done this before.
That just leaves me, of course. I am Andrew, your storyteller for tonight's game, and for most games around here, although you are going to see a bunch of friendly faces behind the GM's chair in the coming weeks, because we have a bunch of great people in our community that want to tell a bunch of great stories, and of course, we are here to support it. That is all I have for you tonight. I'm going to throw a raid over to our friends at Dork Tales.
Let's go.
We're gonna go give them some love and decompress and talk about our feelings, and probably sing songs. But that's legit all I got. As always, be good people, do good things, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.